Ever wonder if our brains could be storing memories in a completely different way? Like, what if they work more like holograms?
Oh, wow.
We're diving deep today into a paper called Holographic Brain Theory, Super-Radiance, Memory Capacity, and Control Theory.
Okay.
It was published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences.
Interesting.
So we know the brain stores memories,
Right.
but the how is still kind of mysterious.
Yeah, the exact mechanism is still being debated.
Right.
We know that the brain stores memories, but the exact how on a physical level
Yeah.
is still a bit of a puzzle.
This paper really shakes things up.
It does. I mean, usually neuroscience says it's the synapses,
Uh-huh.
the connections between neurons that store the memories.
Like carving the memories, the more you do it, the stronger they get.
Yeah, the idea is that learning strengthens these connections. Like carving a memory into wood, the more you carve, the deeper the memory.
But, like, does our brain run out of space to carve?
Not exactly, but think about it. Even deep carvings
Yeah.
can fade over time. Plus, it doesn't really explain how we connect information from all our senses.
Yeah, or like how the context of the memory matters.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And how our memories are influenced by the context
Yeah.
in which we experience things.
Okay.
This paper suggests that our brains might be using
Right.
a completely different system,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
based on holograms.
Before we go too far,
Sure.
remind me again what a hologram is.
Imagine capturing a 3D image,
Okay.
but instead of taking a picture, you use lasers to create a pattern
Yeah.
of light interference
Uh-huh.
on a flat surface. That pattern is the hologram. The really cool part is that if you shine a light on it later,
Right.
the 3D image pops back out.
It's like magic, but with lasers.
Right.
How could our brains possibly be using holograms?
That's where quantum brain dynamics comes in.
GBD.
Yeah, QBD.
Okay.
It suggests that quantum phenomena,
Yeah.
the stuff that governs subatomic particles,
Yeah.
might also be happening in our brains.
Uh-huh.
The paper dives into a mechanism called super-radiance.
Okay.
It's a phenomenon where lots of atoms or molecules work together
Right.
to emit a super intense and coherent beam of light.
Oh, wow.
The kind you'd need to make a hologram.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You saying our brains are shooting out lasers?
That's the idea.
But
And the source.
I know.
The paper suggests it could be microtubules.
Microtubules, I thought those were just for structure.
They are tiny,
Right.
cylindrical structures inside our neurons.
Huh?
They give neurons structure. But this theory says they could also be emitting light.
So microtubules are way more important than we thought.
It seems so.
Wow.
The paper suggests that their cylindrical shape
Okay.
could be key to making super-radiance really efficient.
Ow.
It helps reduce what's called the dephasing effect,
Okay.
which essentially makes the light more focused
Oh.
and powerful.
So we've got microtubules. They're like little lasers
Yeah.
creating holographic memories in our brains.
That's a possibility that the paper explores.
Okay.
It even goes further
Really?
and suggests that mitochondria,
Uh-huh.
the powerhouses of the cell,
Yeah.
could be the energy source
Wow.
for this light show.
It sounds like the whole cell is getting in on the action.
Yeah.
This is really making me rethink what's going on inside my head.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
It's a fascinating concept, and the paper doesn't stop there.
Oh, there's more.
It proposes that this holographic method
Yeah.
could allow the neocortex,
The outer layer.
the outer layer of the brain,
Okay.
to store a massive amount of information.
Like how much?
2.5 petabytes.
What?
To put that in perspective, that's like storing hundreds of thousands of HD movies
Hundreds of thousands of movies.
in just the outer layer of the brain.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
How is that even possible?
It comes out of the wavelengths of light.
Okay.
Super-radiance produces light with super short wavelength.
Uh-huh.
And the shorter the wavelength,
Yeah.
the more information you can pack into a given space. Imagine trying to write on a grain of rice.
Right.
If you have a really tiny pen, you could fit more words.
So our brains are working with a really fine-tipped pen.
Exactly.
This makes me wonder about those people with almost photographic memories.
Yeah.
Could this explain that?
That's one of the many fascinating questions this theory raises.
Right.
It challenges our traditional understanding of what our brains are capable of.
But there's another layer.
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah.
The paper also suggests
Okay.
that we might not only be able to store these holograms,
Uh-huh.
but also manipulate them.
Manipulate them, like edit them.
That's where the concept of binary holograms and control
Oh.
theory comes in.
Control theory.
Yeah.
Like we could edit our memories.
The paper proposes that these holograms
Yeah.
are coded using simple on-off patterns of light.
Like binary code.
Exactly, like a binary code.
And it says that we could use external electromagnetic fields to manipulate them.
That's what it suggests, yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Are we talking about using magnets to rewrite our memories?
It does sound like science fiction, but
Yes.
the paper presents a hierarchical model
Okay.
to explain how it could work.
A hierarchical model.
Yeah.
Okay.
It represents different layers of the brain.
Like what?
The scalp, the skull, cerebrospinal fluid, and finally the neocortex.
Where the memories are.
Exactly, where those holographic memories are thought to reside.
So the idea is we could target specific parts of the brain with these waves.
Yeah, with electromagnetic waves.
To actually alter the memories.
That's the proposal.
That raises so many questions.
It does.
Like, ethically, could we even still be ourselves?
That's a big one.
If our memories could be altered by an outside force.
The big question to consider.
This is blowing my mind. We've gone from lasers in our brain to rewriting memories with magnets.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process.
It is. It's a very thought-provoking concept.
It is.
It really is a lot to consider.
Yeah.
One of the things that makes this holographic brain theory so compelling is that it pushes us to think beyond what we thought we knew about neuroscience. Like, it brings in these mind-boggling possibilities from the quantum world.
It's making me question everything I thought I knew about my brain.
Yeah. It's pretty wild stuff.
I'm still struggling to grasp what this all means.
Okay.
Practically speaking, why should someone listening to this care about quantum brain dynamics?
That's a great question.
What's the real-world application?
Well, if this theory is true, it could totally change how we think about consciousness, memory, and even diseases of the brain.
Okay, give me an example.
Let's think about Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
It's characterized by memory loss and cognitive decline. But what if those memories aren't actually gone?
Where'd they go?
What if they're just inaccessible because the holographic representations have become distorted or damaged?
So instead of trying to replace the memories, we could try to repair or realign those holograms.
It opens up a whole new way of thinking about treatment and research.
And it's not just about diseases, right?
No, not at all.
If we could actually manipulate these brain holograms, could we enhance our memories or learning abilities?
That's one of the possibilities.
Like become super learners, downloading information straight into our brains.
Those are some of the more futuristic possibilities that this theory brings up.
Right.
But even in the nearer term, this research could have huge implications for artificial intelligence.
AI.
Yeah, imagine AI systems that operate on holographic principles. They could be far more efficient and adaptable than the AI we have now.
So this isn't just some fringe neuroscience idea.
Not at all.
We're talking about a paradigm shift.
Absolutely.
In multiple fields.
The potential applications are vast and still largely unexplored.
This is starting to feel like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, a little bit, right.
Is there any actual evidence to support this theory? Or is it just a cool idea?
It's important to remember that this is still a hypothesis. And a lot more research needs to be done. But there's a growing body of evidence.
Like what?
That suggests quantum phenomena might actually be at play in biological systems, including the brain.
What kind of evidence are we talking about?
Well, think about how incredibly efficient our brains are.
Yeah, they are.
They can do really complex calculations using very little energy, far more efficiently than any computer we've been able to build.
Are you saying our brains are breaking the laws of physics?
Not necessarily breaking them. But they might be playing by a different set of rules. And there's research showing that some biological processes, like photosynthesis, seem to use quantum effects. There's even a study that found evidence of quantum entanglement.
Entanglement. Remind me what that is.
It's when two particles are linked in such a way that they share the same fate, no matter how far apart they are.
Yeah, they're connected.
It's as if they're connected by an invisible thread. This is a purely quantum phenomenon. And if it's happening in the brain, it means there's more going on than we can explain with just classical physics.
So those quantum effects, they might not just be theoretical. They could be happening in our heads right now.
That's the exciting part.
Wow.
We're just starting to peek into this world, and who knows what we might find.
Okay, I'm ready to dive a little deeper into the details of control theory. How would we even go about manipulating brain holograms? What kind of tech would we need?
The paper lays out a mathematical framework that shows how external electromagnetic fields could interact with the charged particles involved in creating those holograms.
So it's like using a magnet to move iron filings around.
That's a good analogy.
We'd be using these electromagnetic fields to shape and reshape those holograms.
But the brain is really complex. It's not as simple as just moving iron filings around on a table. We're talking about billions of neurons and trillions of connections, all interacting in ways we're only beginning to understand.
How do we even begin to target specific memories or brain functions? Like without causing unintended consequences?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
This paper lays out some theoretical groundwork. But there's a lot more research and technological development that needs to happen.
So we're not going to be downloading kung fu skills anytime soon?
Probably not.
But the very idea that we might be able to influence our brains on this level opens up a whole new world of ethical considerations.
It does.
What if this tech fell into the wrong hands?
That's a scary thought.
We're talking about the possibility of mind control, thought manipulation, even the erasure of memories.
Yeah. It sounds like a dystopian novel.
It does.
It's crucial to have these conversations now.
I agree.
Before this technology becomes a reality. We need to think carefully about the risks and benefits.
And establish some ethical guidelines for how it could be used.
We need to be sure that if this tech does become a reality, it's used for good.
Yes. What does the paper say about the practical applications? Are there any real-world uses that are closer to becoming a reality?
The paper suggests that manipulating brain holograms could be a potential treatment for a whole range of neurological and psychiatric disorders. It mentions things like Parkinson's disease, depression, and even chronic pain.
So instead of drugs or surgery, we could use these electromagnetic fields to target specific areas of the brain.
And potentially alleviate symptoms.
It sounds very theoretical at this point.
It is. A lot more research is needed to translate this into actual therapies.
There's enormous potential here.
There is.
But also a lot of challenges to overcome.
Right.
What are some of the biggest obstacles?
Well, for one thing, we need to develop the tools to safely and accurately deliver these electromagnetic fields to very precise areas of the brain.
That's a big challenge.
It is. We're talking about incredibly fine-grained control.
Wow.
We also need a much deeper understanding of the brain's circuitry and how different regions interact.
So we're not just talking about building better magnets. It's about having a detailed map of the brain.
Exactly.
And knowing where to apply those magnetic pulses.
Precisely. And even then, there's the challenge of individual variability. Every person's brain is unique. So what works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'd need to figure out how to personalize these treatments based on each patient's specific brain structure and function.
It sounds like a long road ahead.
Yeah, it is a long road.
But the potential payoffs could be huge.
The potential is definitely there.
What about the ethical considerations, specifically related to using this for medical purposes?
Absolutely. Anytime we're talking about manipulating the brain, we have to proceed very carefully. For example, who gets to decide which conditions should be treated with this technology?
Or like, what about potential side effects?
Exactly.
Or long-term consequences?
Those are all things we need to consider.
We might not even be aware of them yet.
Exactly.
What about consent?
Yes, that's a big one.
How do we ensure patients fully understand the risks and benefits?
These are all critical questions that need to be addressed long before we even think about using this technology in a medical setting. We need to have open and honest public conversations.
I agree.
About these ethical implications.
This is all incredibly thought-provoking.
It is.
I'm realizing that this holographic brain theory isn't just about science.
No. It's much bigger than that.
It brings in philosophy, ethics, even spirituality.
It makes us question what it means to be human.
And these aren't just abstract questions.
No.
This has the potential to impact our lives.
Absolutely.
Both positively and negatively.
That's the reality of any powerful technology.
I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this.
I understand.
But also really intrigued.
It is a lot to take in.
What's next? What kind of research needs to be done to further explore this theory?
We need more collaboration between different fields.
Like what?
neuroscientists working with physicists, mathematicians, computer scientists,
Wow.
philosophers, ethicists.
Everywhere.
Yeah, all coming together to explore these ideas.
And develop this tech responsibly.
It's a massive undertaking.
It is.
But also a very exciting one.
I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today.
I think so, too.
But before we wrap things up,
okay.
I have one more question for you.
So,
it's a big one.
I'm ready.
If this holographic brain theory is true,
yeah,
what does it mean for our understanding of reality?
That's a profound question.
I know.
If our brains are creating holograms, and those holograms shape how we perceive the world, then it suggests that reality might not be as objective as we think it is.
What?
It raises the possibility that our minds are actively constructing our experience of the world.
So what we think of as reality might just be one version of many.
It's a mind-bending concept.
It is.
And it's something that philosophers and mystics have explored for centuries.
But now science is starting to look at it too.
Exactly.
So we're not just talking about lasers in our brains anymore.
No, we're not.
We're talking about the nature of reality itself.
We are, and that's one of the most captivating things about this research.
Yeah.
It's not just about understanding the brain. It's about understanding the universe and our place in it.
My mind is officially blown.
I know, it's a lot.
I think I need a minute to process this.
I understand.
But it's also incredibly liberating.
It is.
It opens up so many possibilities.
It does.
And it makes us question everything we thought we knew.
About ourselves and the world around us.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit more grounded now.
Good.
I'm starting to grasp the big picture.
Okay.
But I'm still curious about some specifics.
Okay, what do you want to know?
The paper mentions water molecules playing a key role in this whole holographic process.
Yeah, water is fascinating.
Can you explain that a little more?
Of course, water is often overlooked.
Yeah.
But it's actually a crucial part of the brain.
Okay.
It makes up about 70% of our brain tissue.
Wow.
And it's involved in lots of biological processes.
So we're not just talking about drinking water.
No, not just drinking water.
It's the water inside our brains.
Yeah, the water inside our brains that's involved in this holographic process.
Yeah. The paper proposes that these water molecules are organized in a specific way around those microtubules.
Exactly.
It suggests that the quantum properties of these water molecules are essential for creating those super-radiant light emissions.
Like they're little antennas.
Yeah, like amplifying those light signals.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
The paper gets into the quantum electrodynamics of how this might work.
Right.
Which is pretty complex.
Yeah.
But the basic idea is that the water molecules are working together to create a coherent state of light, which is what you need for holography.
So it's not just the microtubules, it's the water molecules too.
It's like a whole orchestra of particles all working together
to create these holographic memories.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
It really highlights how interconnected everything is in the brain.
It does. It really does.
Everything working together in this amazing symphony.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I'm still not quite clear on how this connects to the control theory.
Sure.
How do we use those electromagnetic fields to manipulate those water molecules and those light signals?
Well, the paper suggests that those electromagnetic fields could interact with the electrical charges of the water molecules, essentially pushing and pulling them into different configurations.
So it's like we're choreographing the dance of the water molecules.
That's a very poetic way to put it.
Essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
By changing the arrangement of the water molecules, we could alter the holographic patterns?
Right, and therefore the information stored in them.
So it's not just controlling the light, it's controlling the medium it's traveling through?
Exactly, and that's why water is so crucial in this theory.
Okay.
It's not just a passive bystander.
Right.
It's an active participant in the holographic process.
It's like we're tuning the brain like a musical instrument.
That's a great
And it has magnetic fields.
And it highlights the incredible potential of this technology.
Right.
Imagine fine-tuning the brain to enhance its function.
Or even correct imbalances that lead to disease. It's a remarkable thought.
It is.
But it also raises ethical questions.
Absolutely.
If we can tune the brain like an instrument, who gets to be the conductor?
That's a question we need to grapple with.
Yeah.
It's essential that we develop this technology ethically and responsibly.
I agree.
Making sure it's used to benefit humanity.
Right.
And not for control or manipulation.
This conversation has been eye-opening.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like I've learned so much about the brain and reality
It's a fascinating topic.
in the past hour than I have in my entire life.
It's been my pleasure.
I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay.
We've talked about manipulating brain holograms that exist.
Right.
But what if we could create new ones? Could we implant memories or even personalities?
That's a fascinating question. It takes us to the edge of science fiction.
Right.
But if this holographic brain theory is accurate, it's not totally impossible.
Wow.
If our memories are holographic projections,
right,
we could theoretically create new ones.
New memories, new identities even.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
It really makes you think about the nature of identity and what makes us who we are.
It challenges everything we thought we knew.
It's exciting and a little unsettling.
It really is.
To our listeners, I encourage you to keep an open mind.
Yes.
Embrace the mystery, and join us on this incredible journey as we dive deeper into the holographic brain.
It's a journey worth taking.
We've just scratched the surface of this holographic brain theory, haven't we?
We have. It's so vast and complex.
This paper is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right. There's a whole universe.
Questions and possibilities that researchers are just starting to explore.
It's at a really exciting time.
This is going to be controversial.
Oh, absolutely.
This theory is going to generate a lot of debate.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out
in the scientific community for years to come.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating.
But that's a good thing, right?
Definitely.
Pushing the boundaries of knowledge, questioning assumptions.
Science thrives on that, on challenging established ideas.
Some of the most revolutionary breakthroughs in history were met with resistance and skepticism at first.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't dismiss this holographic brain theory.
No, not at all.
Just because it sounds out there.
We need to stay open-minded and follow the evidence.
There's a growing body of evidence pointing in this direction.
There is.
We talked about the brain's efficiency, the potential role of quantum effects, and even the evidence of quantum entanglement happening in the brain.
It's pretty compelling stuff.
Don't forget those microtubules.
Oh, yeah.
Those tiny tubes are turning out to be more interesting than we thought.
Those microtubules, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing to think about.
It really is.
That these microscopic structures, once thought to be just scaffolding, could be playing such a crucial role in consciousness and memory.
It's like we're uncovering a whole new world within our own brains.
It's like a whole new frontier.
A world of light and vibration, of quantum entanglement and holographic projections.
It completely changes how we see things.
It challenges our conventional view of reality.
It does.
Makes us think that the universe is far more mysterious and interconnected than we ever imagined.
It's awe-inspiring.
And this is just the beginning.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
I can't wait to see what researchers discover next.
Me too.
I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder.
Okay.
We've talked about manipulating existing brain holograms.
Right. Manipulating the ones that are already there.
But what if we could create entirely new ones?
That's an interesting thought.
Could we use this technology to implant memories?
Wow.
Or even personalities?
You're really pushing the boundaries here.
That takes us to the edge of science fiction.
It does.
But if this theory is right...
It's not totally outside the realm of possibility.
Wow.
If our memories are basically holographic projections, then we could theoretically create new projections.
New memories, new identities.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It really makes you think about what makes us who we are.
It challenges our whole understanding of the self.
It's both exciting and a little unsettling.
Definitely.
To our listeners, I encourage you to keep an open mind.
Yeah. Stay curious.
Embrace the mystery.
It's all about exploring the unknown.
And join us as we delve deeper into the holographic brain.
There's so much more to discover.
That's it for our deep dive.
It's been a great discussion.
Into the holographic brain theory.
I've really enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
Until next time.
Keep exploring the depths of your own minds.
Absolutely.
And the infinite possibilities of the universe.